Hello everybody and welcome to the Chrissy B Show. And let me tell you what we have lined up for today's program. We're going to be covering the news with the lovely Excel here to my right. Give a nice wave, okay? And also we'll be speaking with Jenny Tshiesche, otherwise known as the Lunchbox Doctor, about healthy snacks and lunchbox ideas. We'll also have the lovely Cynthia Gregoire, who will share some fashion tips about autumn-winter trends and the history of fashion. And we'll also have a fitness tip about strengthening your back from Jane Wrafter. I'll also be showing you my latest challenge and answering a question from a viewer. So lots in store for the program. How are you, Excel? But we're going to start obviously with the news. Hello,
yes.
My lovely.
Hello, Chrissy. Hello, viewers. As usual, I have found some very interesting news pieces for the show.
I have to say, your news items are quite interesting and wacky, a bit like you.
Well, I agree. Well, I'll start off with, hope no one's having dinner. A family was kicked out of a restaurant after they changed a baby's nappy at a dinner table.
No. Oh, that's disgusting.
It can only be in America as well. This happened in a pizza restaurant in Texas, where a mother decided that her 4-month-old baby needed a change, and she says there was no change table when she went into the bathroom, as they call it.
Was that her protest then?
Well, not really. She just said, well, it wasn't convenient, but I just felt I could just really just whip it out here and blah, 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 blah. But she told the local TV station, KHOU, and said, I thought, you know, I've got my own changing pad. She's tiny and she fits right here in the chair.
Tiny tots still do smelly poos.
Well, this is it, because this is exactly what the staff...
Especially healthily.
We'll find out more about that, I'm sure. Basically, the staff at the restaurant said customers complained about the smell.
Of course.
And so she just said, nah. So it sounds like they had just ordered when this decided to happen, because all they said, how the news ended, just said her food was brought out in takeaway containers and she was asked to leave. Bye-bye. Hint.
So is she complaining about it though? Was she?
Well, no, I think it just kind of made the local news. I think probably maybe somebody must have mentioned it too.
It's unhygienic, it's smelly, it's disgusting.
Exactly. This is why I gave a warning before I gave the news, see?
I just hope some viewers haven't switched off and won't watch the rest of the programme now.
No, my news is too wacky. Come back, come back. Well, the next thing, if you are squeamish, you may want to look away. Oh yes, come on, I have to deliver. A Saudi Arabian man got fed up after suffering with constant nosebleeds. Guess what was wrong with him?
What?
He had a tooth growing in his nose.
Oh, yuck.
Picture, please. He's a 22-year-old man, and he had at least one nosebleed a month for 3 years, and was told to his horror that there was a white bony mass measuring ½ an inch in length growing in his nasal cavity.
That's disgusting.
And it was a supernumerary tooth. Supernumerary just means it's not really included in the numbers, so it was just a tooth. Just shove a carrot up there every now and again, you know, just... Why not?
Well,
multitask.
I presume he's not getting the nosebleeds anymore.
Well, no, because he's been taken out now, because what was causing the bleeds was basically the tooth scratching the inside of the nose.
I used to get loads of nosebleeds when I was young. Me and my sister. I don't have any teeth. I don't anymore, and I don't have any teeth up there, I'm sure. But any little knock on the head, or if the weather got really hot, we just used to get nosebleeds. It was really bad all the time. It was terrible.
Well, yeah, I suppose it can be. Yeah, sometimes maybe you kind of pick your nose by accident and you open the...
No, this was just literally if it just knocked my head, or just if it got really, if the weather was really hot and my head got hot. Not both of us nosebleeds. Terrible.
Wow.
They stopped after a while. It was just when we were children. But we got so used to it. It was so normal.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't panic or anything. Like, okay, put a cold spoon down your back and all this kind of stuff to kind of shock you and hold, you know. It was just like, oh, it's a nosebleed, big deal.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. I've never had one, and I don't intend to find out what it feels like, to be quite honest.
It doesn't hurt.
Yeah, but the fact that it's blood.
Yeah.
I'm already distressed.
Let's move swiftly on.
Yes, I'm already distressed with what comes out of there. I wouldn't want blood to come out of there. But anyway, now to some hilarious news. A student had his bike stolen, right? And so he then wrote a letter to the thief.
Yeah.
A very polite letter. And I have to say, this needs to be seen to be believed. If we bring up the letter, it would be lovely, lovely, lovely indeed. It says, "Dear douchebag bike thief, fantastic, I've grabbed your attention. Hi there. You stole my bike last night. Admittedly, I was kind of ticked off about this, but less so when I realized that you left your face on camera at the station. And also, you may not have realized, but this is not the first bike I've had stolen, so I put a tracer inside the bike frame. So unfortunately for you, I know where you live. Please, dear bike thief, don't take this as a threat. I'm sure you've had your reasons. I just want my bike back. All I am asking is, if you return the bike before the end of this week, that will be the end of it. If not, you'll be getting a visit by Our Majesty's finest. In case you've taken more than one bike, mine was the Grey Giant. Have a good day. Sincerely.
Wow.
He signed it as sincerely. What did he say again? That disappeared before I finished reading it.
Should we put that back, guys, just so as for Excel to read the final part?
Yeah, I've got it here.
Right,
it says, sincerely, the poor student with no money but a working printer. Love it. I love it. I
So was it
absolutely
returned?
love it. Well, let's just say at the time of this news footage, it hadn't actually happened yet. So I suppose it's the end. It will be the end of this week. So
right,
hopefully,
okay.
yes. So hopefully this would happen and the thief will be wise enough. Following on from another thieving subject, I have to say this cracked me up when I saw it. A man went into a house to obviously steal. Well, not obviously, but he went into a house to steal. And he was looking around the house, and it seemed that as though, I think there were two of them, because he was caught on camera and obviously didn't know it was there. And as he looked around and everything, then he spotted the camera, and all he could say was, perfect, absolutely perfect. And literally, he then, after he pulled this face, then he looked out the window to his partner, well, we assume his partner, and he went, camera! And of course, then made to duck. It actually, these are all freeze frames. I had to pick the best one because I thought that was the finest one. And he literally he now decided to duck and then went round. Camera's filming all of this, you know. Went round and then he ripped the camera off the wall.
Mate.
Too late, love, because it's already been put on an online web database, whatever thing they've got, and now his picture's out there. So let's just say here on the Chrissy B Show, we do not support such behaviour. So I had to put your face up there. So we can put the face up again just in case people didn't catch it. Because Northamptonshire Police have also issued photographs from the footage and have said to anyone who sees him to obviously not approach him because he may be carrying a weapon, etc. But please feel free to contact the Northamptonshire Police on 101 or Crime Stoppers at 0800 555 111.
Lovely, I love that news. It's great to have cameras, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because I just think, what cheek, coming into my house to burgle, because this had happened before, because what the guy did, he said, because I think he's a property developer, and he said I think it was his parents' house, and this had happened before.
Right.
And so this then made him decide that, look, I need to, set up measures. And all the guy actually took, we could say all he took, but he actually took items of sentimental value.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything particularly expensive, but he just said, look, I just want my stuff back. Well, exactly. You can't replace things. What if somebody gave you something, somebody quite special gave you something, you can't replace it. It's not, So he says it's not really like a big deal or whatever, but he shared the footage on social media. Love it. Shared the footage on social media and just got it out there. Just find this man, shame him.
Good.
So,
got a couple of minutes. I think you can fit one more.
I've got a couple of minutes. Okay, I can fit something small on there. Well, police in China have decided to take a poetic justice style approach to drivers who dazzle other motorists on the road. And I wish this happened in England. I seriously do. Whenever motorists are found to put their lights on full beam, the police actually stop them and make them sit in front of their police van with the headlights on them. Cue photo. That's perfect. I love it. I absolutely
That would not be allowed, though.
Oh, I love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it.
And how long do they have to step at the cars arrive?
They have to sit in front of the pair of lights for 5 minutes.
Oh, are you serious?
For 5 minutes.
Bad.
Absolutely. Because it says here, I think it seems to be a usual pattern, because I find this a lot as well here. It says officers were cracking down on motorists who weren't considerate to other drivers because they do it to sort of like dazzle them and maybe get them to swerve off the road or whatever. So they're taking out their vehicle and get them to sit in front of the van for 5 minutes. And it's beautiful.
Imagine
I
if we
love
did
it.
that here.
And then also, after that, they also receive a lecture from the police and they have to pay a fine on top of that.
Oh, wow. So it's not just...
I think I'm going to move to China.
Have you been dazzled a few times?
Oh,
in Excel?
seriously,
For you to be
seriously.
so into this.
Can you tell, can you really tell that I'm miffed with this sort of behavior?
Well, thank you so much. You're going to be back with us
Absolutely.
towards the end of the program with more news items. Thank you so much, Excel. Well, do stay tuned because after the break, I'll be speaking to Lunchbox Doctor Jenny Tshiesche about healthy snacking and how to put together the perfect lunchbox. So do join us after this.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back. Now, before I speak to my next guest, let's take a look at my latest challenge, which was Segways. I'm here for my next challenge, and this one is Segways. Now, I have seen this quite a bit on American films, and you see the police on them, but I haven't tried it myself, so I'm quite looking forward to it. So let's go and find out what it's all about. Here we go! I fell off, never mind, maybe I was going too fast. I'm here with Liam from Segways, who's an instructor here. So Liam, how long has this establishment been here? It's been a few years, hasn't it?
Yeah, Segway Fence has been here for about 2 years now, a couple of years. Been here for quite a while.
And how did you get into this in the first place?
I had a friend who worked here, weirdly enough, and I just asked for a job and got given an interview. Then yeah, just managed to swing it, to be honest. Showed my skills on the Segway, I suppose.
I noticed there's quite a few age ranges here, from young to the more mature, so it appeals to everyone.
Yeah, it does. We can get quite a wide age range. It's not actually based on age. The restrictions are for weight and height, so we can get to about 11, 12 up to. We've had people in their 80s coming along and having a go.
80s?
Yeah. Better than you think, so.
Now, do many people fall off, or was it just me?
We tend to have at least one a group, so don't worry about that.
Actually, I think there were two this time. This group wasn't just me.
I've fallen off a good few times, so yeah. Yeah.
Thanks for your wonderful instruction.
No problem. Thank you.
That was really good fun. But now it's time to talk to Jenny Tshiesche. Hello, Jenny.
Hello there.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
I'm
Yes.
so excited because we've got food on the table, and I get really excited when there's food.
Food gets people talking, doesn't it?
Now, you are the Lunchbox Doctor.
I am the Lunchbox
That's
Doctor.
such an interesting name.
Well, it is, but my proper name, my real name, is quite difficult to pronounce, and Lunchbox Doctor seems to be remembered. I've been to places where people say, I don't actually know your name, but I know you're the Lunchbox Doctor. I said, that's fine for me.
How did you come up with that idea in the first place?
Okay, well, so I'm a nutritionist by trade, and then in 2009 my eldest, who had to an extent been a fussy eater, went to school, and she said to me, I don't really like sandwiches. And when I thought about it, I thought, well, she's right, she's not really eaten a lot of bread to this point, but I'd not thought what I was going to do with lunches if I didn't put sandwiches in them.
What else is there?
Yeah, what else is there? You think of a traditional packed lunch as your your sandwich and maybe, I don't know, some fruit or whatever else. So I sort of sat down and thought about it, and I thought, well, I know what I'm doing from a nutritional perspective, but she's still got to eat it. So
That's such a nice mummy, that is, don't you think? Because most parents would say you just eat what I put for you and that's it, but you just came up with something else.
Well, it was also because because of what I was doing with nutrition, and I realised that actually we don't need as much bread perhaps as we eat, and quite a typical diet for especially young kids in this world, day and age, seems to be sort of a breakfast cereal, which could be wheat based, and then it could be the sandwich at lunchtime, and then pasta for tea, and it's just wheat upon wheat upon wheat. And from my studies and my degree, I knew that wasn't necessarily what she really needed. So I actually set up a Facebook page. It's really easy to do, you know, and I started writing about my tales, my woes, but also my solutions. And I called it Not Just Sandwiches. And it went really well. And there were lots of parents out there that really needed help as well, which was exciting for me because I was like, okay, so they're giving me some feedback. They're helping me. I'm helping them from the nutritional standpoint. And I've got this real life case, you know, guinea pig really, and case study. So my daughter was sort of leading me down this path, which was good fun. And it grew to the point where I decided to write a book because I had so much going around in my head that if I didn't put it down somewhere, it was just going to be in the ether, or you know how difficult it is once you're on a social media page to actually access anything after you've written it. So I wrote a book called Not Just Sandwiches and 5 Ways to Improve Your Child's Lunchbox. And from there, I decided, well, it has to be more than that. And now I have this business, which is Lunchbox Doctor.
That's fantastic.
Which is memorable and it's good fun.
I love the name.
Oh, good.
So let's talk us through what you have here then.
Okay, so one of the things I'm a big believer in is making food appealing. You know, we eat with our eyes, and so we have an issue that there's so much food, as parents, food marketed at us, which is supposedly ideal for lunchboxes. To me, not in every case, but in a lot of cases, that means that it's been individually packaged and it lasts a long time. So it might have preservatives, additives in it. That means it's really easy to pick up in the supermarket. It means it's really easy to put in a lunchbox. Doesn't necessarily mean it's really good for the child. And that's my concern. So what I've done is really, I mean, you can see it is quite colourful, and this has travelled.
Lovely. Can we see it on camera?
So we have, you know, a different set of ingredients here, or things in the lunchbox. What I use is, I use a kind of a 6-component plan really, and this lunchbox fairly well. I mean, I came up with a 6-component plan, which helps kids understand how to put the right things in a lunchbox. I call it Lunchbox Bingo. But then this company came up with this lunchbox, which kind of represents it, which is quite good. But for a kid, you know, they've got to understand that they need to have some grains or some carbohydrates, some protein, a dairy or calcium-based portion of something, fruit and vegetable. And we know from all the research that's out there that vegetables are typically the one thing that doesn't make it into the lunchbox. So really trying to make it colourful and interesting with all of those different component parts in it. So here, for the protein portion, I've actually got some hummus. Now that's a very bright pink hummus. Do you want to lift it up slightly? Can we see that? Yeah. So this is a bright pink hummus, and the reason it's bright pink is because I put some beetroot in it.
That looks lovely.
And it might not be to everybody's liking, but quite often kids like colour and they like a theme. You know, dare I say it, but girls like pink things. You know, not all girls, and my daughter will be one that's gone through phases. Good. There you go. So hopefully you like to eat pink. And you know, it does differentiate its light from something like Tarab Salata because it's darker pink, you know. But hummus generally is actually one of those weird things that quite a lot of children surprisingly like. And it still surprises me that as many do. But with my children, because I was sort of making it, I decided to add something a bit different. So I've used vegetable juices, you know, like tomato juice, and then I added quite a lot of beetroot to this particular one. Then some grains. So, you know, it could be crackers or something like that. Again, we know that research was proving that kids will eat vegetables more if they are dipped into something. So providing a dip's quite a good thing. And then I've got some carrot sticks. So carrots, cucumber, cherry tomatoes, smaller vegetables tend to be better eaten or liked by kids. And a fruit portion. I'll put some extra little raisins.
I mean, that looks appealing for an adult. That looks appealing to me.
Yeah, and the thing is, you know, with adults, you just got to think about the portion sizing and also their accessibility to it. You know, kids need little and often because they have small stomachs, whereas you know, like a man has a bigger stomach, so he could eat a bigger portion at one point in the day. But you know, even some of these other lunch boxes. I mean, something like this. You might put that alongside a sandwich, you know, and again in this one you've got colour, so you've got vegetable, fruit, you've got something like a sort of a flapjack with seeds in it, so that's, you know, calcium in there and protein. And then you might have a sandwich as well to go with that. So you can see you can actually build up whatever you really want, but it is about having a variety of different things and making it appealing, because really, you know, quite frankly, that sort of classic sandwich that I was intending to send my daughter to school with, and maybe a packet
This is so much more interesting, though, definitely.
Yeah, it is. is, and it you know, inspires people to try and do something a little bit different. So many children complain of having the same thing every single day.
It does get boring though. We get bored with the same food, so I want kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I noticed the thermos there as well. What do you suggest for like soups and things? Or?
Yeah, exactly. Or, you know, leftovers. I mean, we're in that kind of... I'm one of a big family. I'm the youngest of 7 children.
Oh, wow.
And so watching my mother produce food growing up, she produced big portions. I only have 2 children and a husband, and I still produce big portions. So inevitably, I have something left over. So it's quite good to put it into the thermos the next day. So a little bit of leftover pasta and sauce. You know, maybe whatever you've got, if you've got a bit of cold chicken, you could put in there, heat it up, and then put it in there with some cheese on the top. I actually put baked beans in there too.
I do.
Topped it.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, soups, obviously, you know, a little bit of leftover soup. Again, it's not a big portion size. So for a child, that works really well. And, you know, they take it to school. You might give them some bread, because again, sometimes kids aren't fantastic with soup, but give them bread and tell them to pick the bread out and eat it. Oh, soup's gone in, you know. So that's one way you can do that. So leftovers basically.
Well,
for your
brilliant, Jenny. Well, you've definitely inspired me, and I'm sure you've inspired lots of mums and dads out there too.
Yeah. Well, that's the funny thing. It's the dads as well. You know, quite often the parents will say to me, or the mother will say to me, "What can I do, you know, for my husband?" And I mean, again, we know that we are, as a nation in the UK, we spend £5.5 billion a year on lunches out, where you waste just over 5 billion in the same foods that we could eat at lunchtime, but we throw them away. They're just sitting in our fridge, and we could be eating them. So again, you know, whilst it's fantastic to buy those convenience things, and I do recommend
quick,
better
but I mean,
ones.
this is quick as well. If you've got leftovers or whatever, you can do it definitely.
Yeah, and you can save money. You know, to be healthy, save money.
That is a big incentive, isn't it, guys?
Great.
Saving money.
Yeah.
Jenny, thank you so much. That was so
No worries.
interesting, and I love these ideas, and I love the concept. Love Lunchbox Doctor. That's brilliant. Thank you so much. Okay, so do stay tuned, because after the break we'll be joined with the lovely Cynthia Gregoire, who'll be speaking to us about autumn winter trends and the history of fashion. So do stay tuned.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to the show, and now I'm with Cynthia Gregoire for styling and fashion tips. Hello, darling.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm good.
I love your outfit today, but we are going to speak about that in just a while.
I love yours. Okay, yeah. I have 2 things to talk to you about. The first of which is a topic that I'll be covering in my studies when I do my master's in the fall, and that's looking at how the fashion industry and the music industry are just so closely related in pop culture.
Okay.
I want to just cover the question, what or who influences mainstream fashion? So basically, who dictates what we buy in shops season after season, year after year? Do you have any ideas?
No.
No?
I don't know. I'm going to try and guess.
Okay. Well,
just pick the clothes that look nice.
Okay. Well, it does come from somewhere, and economists have put originally this theory of this trickle-down theory. So it's this idea that the haute couture houses in France, you know, your Chanel, your Jean-Paul Gaultier, your Yves Saint Laurent, your Christian Dior, that whatever they said went and trickled down to mainstream fashion. So whatever was on the catwalk then became cheaper versions and was what we bought. But there is no denying that certain subcultures have evolved and basically contributed in a very powerful way to fashion. Think punk pop culture, or let's say goth, or I want to look at hip hop. Pop culture.
Which is very influential, isn't it?
Very, yes. I actually had this amazing experience to attend a Public Enemy gig. Do you know those guys?
Yes, yeah.
Yes, okay. So they've been around from New York since 1982. So they're 32 years in the business, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. First 4 albums went either platinum or gold. And I got to go to this gig where only 100 people got invited.
Oh,
so
wow.
Big shout out to Katie Greither at Fear PR for organizing that for me to be a part of. And it it was just so cool to just see this pop culture, or this little subculture, you know, the fashion. It's more than just the music, it's the fashion, it's the lifestyle. I got to talk to some of the band members and their, you know, their brothers and sisters about their fashion style. And basically, I just have a few slides that I've put together that I'd like to go through. So this first one here is actually, this one is Malcolm McLaren and Vivienne Westwood back in the 70s. Now, Malcolm McLaren, Malcolm McLaren was the manager of the Sex Pistols, and his partner there, famous British designer Vivienne Westwood, really had driven punk culture in the 1970s. So they were an important driving factor in that. Also, though, McLaren, he also brought over hip hop culture from America into Britain. So if we look at this next slide here, we see the group that we have Malcolm McLaren again and the world famous Supreme team, and basically this was their hip hop single Buffalo Gals, released in 1982. Now, what do you notice in that picture there? I know it's black and white, but can you see there?
The hats?
Yes, thank you, the buffalo hats. So Vivienne Westwood reworked or did those hats, but she also reworked it for my next slide, if you can look at. Pharrell Williams, 30 years later, that hat still has, you know, as much oomph power in the fashion and music industry today. So that hat was actually more talked about, I guess, than the music, you know, in the papers. So, I mean, go figure, right? So it's just an example of how that trickle-up culture is actually just as important as the trickle-down culture. As actually Karl Lagerfeld said, trainers go with everything. And we saw trainers actually go from the street style all the way up to haute couture. That's kind of cool. So if we just look at the next slide, we have Public Enemy. We have Professor Griff on vocals here. And I just want to point out these signature colors of Black nationalism, the green, the red, and the black. And also just take a look at the sportswear that's been very popular within hip hop culture fashion. So we learned in business fashion school last year that the driving market in the fashion world is actually sportswear. So go figure, they really hold an important spot in fashion. Next, the next slide is Flava Flav and Chuck D from Public Enemy, and take a look at that neck piece. So that's his signature clock necklace, and you can see the
forget
those are awesome. And wearing the sportswear in just different ways. That used to drive my dad mad when we'd wear hats like sideways and the big glasses and stuff, but those are very iconic, you know, fashion influences from street culture. The last slide I have here is just of Public Enemy again. And this is their whole group. And I just want to point out, you know, do you see the military influences? The two guys in the military suits. Now, there's no denying the military look is in year after year after year.
And some of it's looking very feminine as well. I've seen some pieces. It looks really good.
Yeah, so there's another example of street culture trickling up. So there's that. Okay. Well, I'd like to take a few moments to talk about what we're wearing today.
Let's take a look.
Absolutely. We are in a transitional period right now. We're rolling in between seasons. We're going from summer to autumn. So very important to choose wisely when we're styling ourselves. So for Chrissy today, I've put her in a closed toe pump. And I just love these trousers by Parker. They're cropped. You really want to have a cropped silhouette this season. There are flare on the high streets. I'm just not feeling it though. I'm really feeling the crop with this lovely textured sort of transitional coat that you could kind of take off and put back on as you wish by Essential. So that's that brand by Antwerp. And I love the hair pulled back and just the subtle curl with that. So lovely. Okay. On myself, basically, this is my last chance at wearing white. We have this saying in Canada called you cannot wear white after Labor Day. So be very careful. Of course, there are no fashion rules, but I'm just saying. So I've got just...
we do what we want, don't we?
Exactly. So I've got these disco pumps by Lucy Choice.
Let's get a better shot of the shoes, please, because they're just fantastic.
Well, see, mine was black and white monochrome, so I had to go a little bit loud with the shoe.
I love those.
White cropped jeans by Citizens of Humanity, and this is my favorite part of the outfit. This has got to be my favorite autumn-winter piece. It's by Helmut Lang, and if you look, it's actually like a one-sleeve asymmetrical shirt.
I love that on you.
So I think I might have to buy it.
Yeah, I think so. Definitely worth it.
All right.
Okay, let's see.
So going to my rail, I just have a few, I guess, top 10-ish must-haves for the autumn-winter season. I just love the beginning of a new season where you're deciding sort of what needs to be there. The first I say is your outerwear. You need to go for an oversized jacket in a bold color. So that is very important. Everybody needs a tailored trousers suit. If you've caught my segment last week, it's all about, you know, the tailored
That was so popular
silhouettes.
with our viewers, Cynthia.
Was it?
Yeah,
I love that look. Did you know Selena Gomez wore La Smokin' that same night at the Teen Choice Awards?
You're on point.
There you are. With this suit too, you can just break it up. Just wear the blazer, just wear the trousers. So this is definitely an essential that will stay in your closet for a long time. You want those light transitional jackets in vibrant colors. You know, you're not sure of the weather, it's getting colder during the evenings, so choose wisely. This is something that I think is going to hit down really big either this season starting, but next season as well. It's this long to the floor knitwear. So this one's done by High. It's absolutely amazing on, and it's just all the way down to the floor. Choose your fabrics wisely for autumn winter. Stay away from synthetics, and you want to go with natural wools, cashmeres, things like that. Asymmetrical, still a very, I can't really see that against myself, but this is Edwin shirt, asymmetrically cut, oversized. Another must-have is a roll neck sweater. Yeah. Roll neck sweater is great for placing underneath your some of your summer dresses, and you can kind of get two wears out of that.
Yeah, that's nice, that is.
Probably my favorite trend that's hitting down right now is the return of the 60s silhouette. So have fun with this, girls. Basically, you're seeing a return to the shift dress. So this is actually a 1960s piece. You also can go crazy with the bell sleeves, the short dresses with the knee-high boots. You're seeing a lot of these dropped waisted dresses as well, 70s kind of prints. This one has a bat wing. It's kind of 30s and 70s inspired as well.
What would you pair that with?
This one?
If you were to like wear something underneath.
I would put black tights and combat boots with this actually.
Okay.
You could put a heel with it as well. Or as Karl Lagerfeld said, trainers go with everything, but I have a hard time with that one.
Yeah, it might be a bit strange though.
Some more 60s inspired fashion. So you've got the white collar on the dress. This one's done by Maj. And also just again, the kind of like shift dress with the 60s silhouette. Couple more pieces here. Essential has done a lovely sort of, look at this length of skirt.
That's lovely, that is.
So this length of skirt, sort of 3/4 length, I think is going to be quite big. Pair it with a crop top. This top is not only important that I chose because it's cropped, which is an awesome shape, it also has that animal reference in there.
Can we get a close-up of the top because there's little kittens on it? It's
Look at the little kitties by Paul and Joe's sister.
Let's see if we can get one quickly before. There you go.
There we go. All right. So you've got the animal references, right? Yeah,
gorgeous.
Around every season kind of thing.
We've got a minute left.
Do you? Oh my goodness. Okay. So shorts. I love shorts. Easier than wearing a mini skirt. Put those with tights, combat boots, and your blazer that you bought over there. Menswear. Military
That's
reference.
Nice. I like that.
Just some prints. I just wanted to highlight this jean jacket here. Turn up the collar. Take a look at the military collar on that. So don't be afraid to wear your collar up. I've seen a lot of jackets with the collars up. Hats are going to be huge as well. I'm just gonna, different silhouettes. So this one's kind of like more 70s. This one here, floppy as well. And these ones here, don't forget the knee-high boots. So that 60s is in. This one's got a bit of a fringe on it. Gucci did one like this.
These boots.
I love them so much too. They're from
What
Italy.
size are they? Not my size, unfortunately, or else I'll be nicking those. Oh no, we don't do nicking, do we, XL? No.
But that's it. Those are some of my must-haves, I think, for autumn, winter,
Excellent.
and it's a good start for now.
That's great. I
So
really enjoyed that, Cynthia. Thank you so much. Okie dokie. Well, do stay tuned because after, let me just put this book down over here. After the break, I'll be speaking again with the lovely XL with some more news and also answering a question from a viewer.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show. Always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back. We're now back with Excel, who's going to have some more news for us. Were you inspired by the fashion segment with Cynthia?
I actually
It's
was.
really interesting, wasn't it?
Very, very interesting. Yeah, I shall be hitting the shops very soon.
Oh, we should go together.
Oh, hello.
All right. Okay, so let me just answer this question from a viewer, and this one's from Chanel. And she says, "Hi, Chrissy. My friend is married, but I don't believe her marriage is a good one. I don't like to judge, but while she's in the house, everything is fine. She works with her husband and stays in her house. But on the very, very few occasions that she goes out, her husband seems to have a problem. He starts to behave like she's going away on holiday without him and starts asking her to do all sorts of things for him. Even when she's out with me, he constantly calls for her to bring things home or to ask where something is. Would I be out of line to say something to her? What would you do, Chrissy?" Now, Chanel, I have to be honest, generally, I really don't believe that people should get involved in their friends' marriages or relationships. As couples, I think, need to sort out their own issues. Now, even if your friend or any other friend actually confides in you about his or her relationship, at the end of the day, you're only hearing one side of things and you don't know what really goes on. So be very careful, I would say, of the kind of advice you give, if any. Now, on the other hand, if my friend was in any sort of danger, if her life or her kids' life were at risk, then I would definitely interfere and I would call the police if I had to. So if you have evidence of anything like this going on, or if you suspect any kind of abuse, then yes, I would say something and I would get involved. But in this case, Chanel, I think it just sounds like your friend's husband is just a bit needy, and if she doesn't seem to have a problem with it, I don't see why you should either. But as I said, I would keep an eye on things, I would say, if I were in your shoes. I would keep an eye on things. If you saw any sort of foul play or she mentioned something that seems like it's some sort of abuse, then I would say something. But if he's just phoning up to see where she is, maybe he's just one of those needy guys, and you know she seems okay with it, then I would just leave it. That's what I would do. So I hope that's helped, Chanel. And if anyone else has a question out there, you can email me on chris@chrissybshow.tv. What do you think, Excel, about that? What's your opinion?
Well,
He's constantly calling.
I think, like you said, though, the friend can only tell you her side of the story. She might find it irritating, but maybe it's
But she hasn't even complained about it. Her friend hasn't been complaining. She just answers the calls and
just, I think sometimes it may not be a needy thing. It might just be a case of, where are you? I miss you. You know, some people can just
that
because it's a man. No, but what I mean is, it may not be negative, as in controlling, I should say. Not controlling, but maybe it's just a case of, I miss you already, and it's just being soppy. I don't know. I think.
I mean, if, for example, her friend was complaining, "Oh my God, I can't take it anymore," all he does is call me, I can never go out without him calling me. I think that's a bit different.
Then
but if she hasn't complained, maybe she even likes it. I don't know.
Absolutely, she might,
Yeah. But anyway, let's get on with some more news.
Well, okay, I think I thought I'd start off with this one, because this was absolutely hilarious when I saw this piece of news. We've all heard of high street shops competing with each other, but this takes it to another level.
Oh, no.
Right. We know the 99p store, right? Poundland, etc. Okay. 99p store now has competition with the 97p store.
No.
As a 97p store has now opened beside a 99p store in Barking. And to obviously make it even more appealing, the 97p store is having a 95p sale. Cue picture.
We've got to go, Excel.
No, look at this. This is hilarious. We have got to go there and just like, really, we just have to go. 97p store is to the right of the picture, and they're having a 95p sale.
Wow.
So, you know, save on 4
suppose if you
pence.
buy loads of our items, it will make a little difference.
Well, indeed. Penny wise, pound foolish. But anyway, I just had to feature that picture because it's absolutely hilarious. But now on to something slightly more up my street. A young man proposed last week to his girlfriend using Coca-Cola bottles. And he spelt, "Beautiful Eloise, will you marry me?" in the fridge. And I have a photo of it. He lined up the bottles and they say, "Beautiful Eloise, will you marry me?" And there's a bouquet of red roses under there with a Coca-Cola glass bottle and the ring inside it. So
that's so
that
cute.
was
and he
the
emptied out
ice.
the whole fridge unless he didn't have anything in there in the
Well,
first
absolutely,
place.
cleaned it out. But how he got her to go there was he asked her to put the milk away in the fridge. So when she opened the fridge, that was what she saw.
Oh, that sounds so creative.
I know. Lovely, I approve. Well, he ended up using, because he had actually ordered, because you can order specific, those bottles on a particular website, on the personalize your own Coke bottle website.
Yeah.
So he had ordered those bottles in, and then he lined that up and obviously posted that on Coca-Cola's Facebook page. And of course, they were quite pleased, because he then said, thanks Coca-Cola for the help. She said yes. So Coca-Cola then put their own picture up on Facebook, and it, cue next photo please, and it said,
Aww.
congratulations, because the guy's name is, what's his name? McGalvery? What, how do you say this? My goodness, sorry, Donny, his surname is McGalvery. Donny, so he said, congratulations Donny and Eloise on your engagement.
Oh, that's lovely.
I thought that was very cute. Oh, all right, okay, I'll stop being stoppy now.
Guys, you have to come up with something original, so don't try and do the same thing.
Exactly.
I would say.
Exactly. And right, it's something horrendously bizarre right now. You might actually not be very pleased with me at this, but I had to feature this one, Chrissy. I'm sorry.
Oh dear, I keep telling her.
We've all had, well, come on, got to be different, got to jazz it up a little bit. Beauty pageants, judge beauty, right? However, in Brazil, they have a unique beauty contest called Miss Bum Bum.
Oh God.
And as the name implies, they actually judge the best derriere. I didn't have photos,
No.
sorry, for those of you who are disappointed, and I'm sure those of you who are good. It actually undertakes to find the best derriere in the country.
But they do that over here. Do you remember Felicity Kendall won that one?
Did they actually judge bums?
Yeah.
Never.
Remember she won Rear of the Year or something?
Yeah, but that's kind of like, not, these people are lined up like beauty
Yeah, that's
pageant.
horrible.
I mean, you can kind of say, right, okay, someone has best derriere because of whoever, because of maybe you've seen them in a dress somewhere.
And this is why you get a lot of young girls nowadays wanting to put implants and things like that in their bottoms. Remember that one? I don't know. Was it you that featured that
I think
news
it was me,
where
yeah,
it went
the
wrong and then they
ate
had
into
to?
her skin. Yeah.
She died, didn't she?
Oof,
It was horrible. That's why you get young girls that want to do that, because so much emphasis is put on certain body shapes and things like that. It's terrible.
It's overrated, absolutely overrated. But this actually is a serious thing. I think it started last year from what it looks like, and Brazilians have until November to vote online for their favorite derriere to determine the 15 finalists.
Is it the toilet tissue that says "Love your bum"?
Yeah.
No matter what it's like, just do your exercises, whatever shape or size. Just love your bottom. That's it. Love your whole self.
Absolutely.
Right?
Oh, I'm cracking up here. Right, the next piece of news I want to highlight is something interesting again, where a, hold on, I've lost my page there for a second. I do apologize.
You just have to keep talking, Excel.
I know, we just have to keep
the program because you've lost
No,
your,
we just
your
can't. We just can't. It's disgraceful. But right, I'll get it back in a minute. Technology, eh? Right, here we go.
Good girl. That was pressure for her.
I know, gosh. Right, the oh gosh, where is it? That's it. The latest thing now on social media, because you know I love my whole social media interactions and whatnot, and we all had Find Mike earlier with somebody who was prevented from committing suicide. Now we have Find Katie. It was this young man, a young Irish man, who met a lady from Canada on a budget airline, and they sat beside each other and chatted all the way from Spain to Ireland. And so, you know, obviously he was smitten and he just couldn't not see her again. And so he literally, because they planned to sort of get each other's numbers when they got off the plane, but that didn't happen and lost each other in the crowd. So he went looking and he decided to launch a worldwide search.
Oh.
And he went on Twitter and he went on Facebook, and he actually got in touch with a Canadian radio station because I think she had gone back to Canada. And after appearing on several Canadian news outlets, Katie's sister, Katie's the girl in question, heard about it and then got them both in touch. And yeah, as we speak, they've had their first date.
Right, okay, I was going to say, because he sounds a bit like a stalker to me.
Well, no, they've had their first date, and I think maybe if this develops and I come across it again, I'll let you know.
Now, he went to a lot of effort, because I was just thinking maybe if she really wanted his, you know, to keep in touch with him, she would have, or he would have made sure that they got each other's numbers. So maybe she didn't actually want to get his number.
No, but I think it sounds like they did. They just lost each other when they got off the plane with all the check-in and all that. I think it's genuine. He wasn't stalking her, because I mean, the girl has agreed. It's love. It's
Let's
real.
watch this space and see what happens, right, Excel?
And a story here I want to highlight is actually I
We don't have time though.
Oh no!
Unless you can do it in 20
literally-
seconds.
Well, let's just
20,
say, like you just
19,
said, we need to celebrate all of our body.
Yes.
This year's America's Next Top Model is actually featuring a model from Canada, again incidentally, who has vitiligo. If we take a look at her picture, this is a condition that affects where you then have, you know, light and dark patches of the skin, and this is she's going to be featuring. And we can see her gorgeousness in our next photo with her lovely long legs as well and everything. But she's not ashamed of it. Actually, Tyra saw her on Twitter and asked her to come on the show.
Good.
So it's actually quite
This is the
refreshing.
thing, we need diversity, right, in models and everything. So
We need to
I think
celebrate
the more
uniqueness.
diversity we have, the less, you know, youngsters will be influenced and go and do silly things just because they want to look a certain way, definitely.
Exactly.
Thank
I
you,
agree.
Ex. I'm glad we finished on that one. Thank you so much. We have reached the end of the program. So I do hope you've enjoyed everything that you've watched today. And if you want more information about our guests, you can visit the website, chrissybshow.tv. And if you'd like to get in touch with me, don't forget email, chris@chrissybshow.tv. But I'd just like to say just one thing. We've covered it on this show. Love yourself. Don't compare yourself to other people. You have your own uniqueness, your own beauty. Just make the most of that. That's all for today. Bye-bye for now.
Yeah, every Saturday at 7 o'clock we have a live seminar where we talk to couples and singles. You're making me laugh, Chris.
I am?
You were making me laugh.
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
Why?
I shouldn't do this.
It's because she looks at you like, you know, like those massive, nice eyes. Sorry, I was
Sorry, Chris.
supposed. It's a compliment. But
That never happened to me.
I think your hair needs
Do I look
fixing a
funny?
No, I thought you were just looking at me.
Laughing at me for no reason.
little. No, it's fine.